Yeah. So I made a post in our Facebook group earlier today about kind of my view on thumbnails, and that I see them as like a spectrum. Or sorry, my view on titles. And I see it as a spectrum. And on one end of the spectrum, you have the algorithm. You can optimize for the algorithm by stuffing all these keywords in there, and you have every search term in your title. On the other end, you can optimize for the human. And make it as clickable as possible, and that you want to make it so that people want to click on that title. You create an information gap. There's something that they don't know and they have to click on that title, and it's a spectrum, and you can kind of create a title somewhere in between these two extremes. And my view is you either want to be kind of right in the center or leaning more towards optimizing for the human.
I'm human. I'm 100% human.
Okay, you're 100% human. So let me give you my opinion why I think it's still okay to optimize for a search term. Okay. It comes down to what source of traffic you're going after. I know you're only going after really browse and suggested. I still like going after search traffic, and I think if somebody searches for moving to Maryland and they see that exact search phrase in their title, that I think that can help optimize it for the human, because it makes it more clickable. They're like, oh, that is exactly what I was just looking for, and it's in the title. So I think that it's still okay to have search terms in your title, as long as it's still a very clickable title. That's my view on it.
Okay.
So I still do kind of put certain keywords in my titles sometimes, if it's still a good title. That is much better. And what drives me crazy when I see people stuffing as many keywords into their title as possible.
Totally guilty.
My top video on my channel from 2 years ago, it's 10 things to know before moving to Maryland, and then parentheses, buying a home in Maryland. And yeah, I need to update that and take that buying a home in Maryland thing out, because it makes it like unreadable, and it doesn't make it more clickable. People don't want to click on it when they see that you're just stuffing all this stuff in there.
I did it. Totally, 100% did it. Because I was following what I thought, what I was told, what it says.
There's people out there who still teach that.
And it's not correct. 100. Well, it was a way of gaining the system at one point. It did work for a period of time, but it limits your audience as well.
Yeah.
I mean, then you're only looking for people that are searching for that exact phrase, instead of going more to the masses.
Yeah. And like what I see is real estate agents. They'll make a title like "Selling Your Home, Annapolis Real Estate Agent, the Lawson Group." Like the title.
Mm-hmm.
And it's literally, they're just putting in these search phrases, and it's not clickable as well. That does not entice somebody to want to click on a title when they see it's just like a series of words.
Your title should never have your channel name in it. It should never have your company name in it. It should never have your group name in it. I mean, that doesn't even. People don't give a poop who you work for.
Yeah, I don't know why people do that. Why they put their channel name in, or their group name or whatever in the title. Titles are so important that you want to really take advantage of that space. So let me ask you this: do you think shorter titles are better than longer titles?
Yes, I do. I think if you can get your point across in very a shorter sentence, and it still be dynamic, then yeah, go for it. I don't think really long titles are the way to go at all. I don't the exact number. I can't really pinpoint that, but I think if it doesn't fit on the screen, then it's way too long.
Right. Yeah.
If there's a bunch of dots, behind it, then your title's way too long.
If the title gets truncated to where there's just a bunch of dots, then yes, that's way too long. Sometimes I'll use that in my title, though. I'll put a couple dots to make it seem like it got truncated. Sometimes just to make it seem
like mysterious.
Yeah, like you'll never believe
dot.
one secret. I think that shorter titles work better than longer titles. And here's my reason why. If I were to give you a title of like 3 words, you don't really have to read that. You can just look at it and your brain processes all 3 of those words instantly. if I give you a title of like 10 words, now you have to actually put energy in your brain to read all 10 of those words and read that sentence.
Right. So that's still you thinking of the human element.
Yes. All comes back to the human.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah, if you can just instantly see a title and instantly get it and process it in your brain instead of putting more energy into it, I think that's going to help with your click-through rate, make it a little bit better.
One of the biggest mistakes I see people make when we're talking about titles is they take the title of their video and they stick it on their thumbnail.
Right.
Drives me absolutely batty, because even the gurus will tell you, the gurus, do not repeat the title on the thumbnail. They know how to read. They just saw the title. Why would they need to read it again on your thumbnail? No more than 5 words. If you can tell the story without using any words, you're 100 times better off.
Yeah. I'm definitely guilty of that. Going back over my last few videos, or my videos from a year or two ago, I definitely did have the exact title in the thumbnail. And you're right, it's just completely redundant at that point. And from the user perspective, they're like, well, I just read that. Why am I reading it twice? Why do you have the exact same thing twice?